Evening all, welcome to the channel. If you like what you see today, you like what you're watching, what I'm talking about, etc., please consider liking, subscribing and leaving any comments about anything that's said or you'd like to say in the future. Anyway, like I said, welcome to the video. Just a quick one tonight. Tino Livramento is finally been unveiled. This one felt like it dragged on almost as long as, if not longer, than the Harvey Barnes deal. I've initially said in a few videos I didn't see why we were chasing another right back, considering at the time of saying that we had Kieran Trippier, Emil Kraft, Javier Menkia and Harrison Ashby. I thought with Harrison Ashby being 21 years old, Tino Livramento being 20, I didn't see why we needed to chase another young right back who was, you know, going to be lined up to be Kieran Trippier's long-term replacement. However, after doing a bit more research the last week or so, I think it's left back cover as well, because, you know, as it stands, pre-Livramento, we had 4 right backs and 1 like proper out and out left back in Matty Target. Obviously, Jamal Lewis has gone on loan to Watford. Dan Burn did fantastically well at left back over last season. Really impressive. However, he's not a proper out and out left back, is he? You know, he's more of a left-sided in a back 3, but he did really well. But obviously Matt Target is a proper out and out left back. His level's dropped since the season before last. Obviously he's had his struggles with injuries, etc. So Livramento, I've done a bit of research, and obviously he can play left back as well. So we've seen Trippier play left back for England. Livramento looks a talent, so he can play either side. We've seen Manquillo play left back for Newcastle at times. I think out of the current 4 right backs, we've got Livramento, Trippier, Kraft, Manquillo. I think Emil Kraft is the only one I've not seen play left back. So that might be an option going forward. Manquillo at left back, Livramento at right back, Trippier being rested perhaps to play for the Champions League, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Tino Livramento, 5-year deal, 20 years old, 32 million quid. I think there's going to be add-ons. There's add-ons in every deal in terms of minutes on the pitch, accomplishments, etc., appearances. But it looks really good. Very glamorous name for a lad from London. Obviously came through the Chelsea Academy, then was let go to Southampton. And I'm one negative. I still think 32 million quid is a lot. Potential aside, age aside, 32 million quid is a lot of money to pay for a guy who hardly played last season. And I'm not sure, but I think Southampton got him for 4 million quid. But I'm glad that we've driven down, you know, there was, last week it was 50 million, 45 million, 40 million. It may well end up being 40, but the initial price of 32 million, I'm glad they got down to that. A quick word on the Seller Cup. Obviously we beat Fiorentina, as you all know, 2-0 on Saturday, and then Villarreal 4-0 on Sunday. Just going to go through some of the star performers. In the first game, obviously Miggy scored. Miggy scored a classic Miggy goal where he didn't have time to think about it. He just spun through, fantastic run, pace, bang. Then it was epitomised because was it in the second half? I think he had a one-on-one where he had 2 or 3 touches and he had time to think about it. He had time and space, pressure and time, and he fired it straight at the goalkeeper. He's that very instinctive finisher. If you give him minimal time to think, it happens. You mean, you look at the goal against Fulham, the volley. My word, you know, he didn't have time to think about it. He just thought, whoa, I'm doing this, bang. He scored. Alex Isak scored a lovely little nod of a header. Pretty poor defending though from that corner, I must say. Isak had some bright moments flying past people in that game. Anderson did well again. Tonali looked better than he did in America. I thought he really struggled, obviously, against Villa in particular. But it's going to happen, you know. He's come from AC Milan, from Italy, where it's nowhere near as intense in the midfield as it is in the Premier League, and obviously this is the most challenging, intense, difficult pre-season that Newcastle have probably ever had in terms of standard. You know, we've played 3. I don't know where Chelsea finished last season. Did they finish 10th? But you would expect them to finish higher. We've played 3 top 10, top 8 Premier League opposition teams. You know, Aston Villa, I think, will be clawing at our heels, breathing down our necks this season. Brighton, obviously, I think will fall away a little bit, but they're in the Conference League. So it was always going to be difficult for Tonali. You know, we went up to Rangers. We were the better team, there's no doubt about it. I know we won 2-1. But then he went to America and he did struggle a bit, but he looked better against Fiorentina. And he is one that will just get better and better and better and better. Then we go on to the Villarreal game. Oh, Jacob Murphy. What a strike. I think it was a free kick from Ritchie. He gets nodded out. Murphy takes it on the edge of the box, little chink around the fullback, and just smashes it. And I said to my brother yesterday, it reminded me, it is a different goal, different scenario, of course, but it reminded me a bit of Vinicius Junior's strike at the Bernabeu against Manchester City in the Champions League when they drew 1-0. I think De Bruyne scored a scorcher that game as well. But the way that he hits the ball so hard, but you know, like most players, when they hit the ball and they really blast it there, they kick through the ball, if you know what I mean. So their foot connects with the ball goes and the foot keeps rising. They take a real swing at it. He and Vinicius, and I'm not saying Murphy's like Vinicius, but their foot seemed to like stop when they hit the ball and it's just pinged in. Oh, the power. Great to see Pepe Reina still playing, by the way. I thought he was class at Liverpool back in the day. Obviously oversaw some horrendous defeats for Newcastle at St James's Park. Remember that 5-1 when Gerrard scored that unbelievable free kick? Who else? Obviously Harvey Barnes getting 2 goals on his St James debut, albeit in the Cellar Cup. He's one of the best players in the league at that particular finish. And again, saying to my brother about that. Right foot, cutting in from the left. That right footed in the far corner, tucking it under the goalkeeper far post. Oh, he's fantastic at that, opening his body up. I mean, the one that stands out is the goal he scored for Leicester on the final day of the season against West Ham last season. Fantastic finish. And that is his signature, that is his trademark. He's brilliant. Who else scored? Joelinton scored a lovely goal, surging from midfield. I thought the defence did pretty well. Nice to see Jamal Lascelles get some minutes. Lewis Miley getting some minutes. Obviously Anderson playing. Did Anderson play that game or the game before? I can't remember. 2 games in 2 days. It was lovely, wasn't it? Newcastle United winners of the inaugural Cellar Cup. Hopefully it's something that happens every season. And just a really... I was dreading the Aston Villa game a week ago. I'll be honest with you, because they are... A lot of people are picking them to take our place in terms of breaking up the Big Six. A lot of people think we're going to choke because we've got, you know, a maximum of 13 extra games. When I think one of the cups might be thrown this season. Not thrown, but I think Eddie Howe won't be devastated if we go out one of the cups early doors. But I was dreading the Villa game. I feel a bit more confident now. Obviously, we did them 4-0 at SJP last season. They did us 3-0 at Villa Park. They've recruited well. Tielemans, Diaby from Leverkusen, who we were linked with for about 6-7 months. Who do you reckon is going to start? More interestingly, who's the 3 in midfield going to be? Personally, I think he'll start. I think 2 out of 3 are guaranteed, aren't they? Bruno and Joelinton, barring injury, of course. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Anderson and Longstaff. Obviously, Sean Longstaff's not got a lot of minutes. He did play against Villarreal, I believe. Anderson deserves to start on form, but it proved last season we went through a sticky spell when Sean Longstaff wasn't playing, and he was the difference. when not on the pitch against Villa, when we've got demolished at Villa Park. So you might just go for Sean Longstaff in these next couple of games, because we've got a horrendous start, haven't we? You know, we've got Villa, City, Liverpool, Brighton, and I think you'll see Tonali come on as a sub in each of those 4 games. Maybe start the Brighton match if he's getting on all right. But what do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. Who's your starting 11? I'm going to go for it right now. Pope, Byrne, Botman, or Lascelles. No. Yeah, Pope, Byrne, Botman, Lascelles, Schär. No, what am I talking about? Pope, Byrne, Botman, Schär. If he's fit, which I think he will be. If not, it'll be Lascelles and Trips. I've made a right mess of this. Longstaff, Joelinton, Bruno. Then I think you'll see Miggy, Callum Wilson, and Isak on the left. But I think you'll see Anthony Gordon, Tonali, and Harvey Barnes coming on the subs. I've completely butchered that, but I'm just going to go with that, see what happens. Thank you for watching. Please consider like, comment, and subscribing, as I said, and I'll see you again later on in the week.